For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Can Studio.
For the record. For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers. For the record.
For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Monday, the 22nd day of March 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a wonderful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a cyclist, a pedestrian, operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads, we ask you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road and remember the life that you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you celebrated a birthday over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. And after I finish with this, I'll tell you about a birthday party on Saturday night. Two persons who celebrated their birthdays in the month of March as well. So if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a belated happy birthday. Those of you who've lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that memories of your loved ones also will be a blessing to you. For those of you who may be ill, either at home or in a medical institution, we extend to you best wishes and the hope for a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the very busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, the phone lines are open. This morning, it is the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Cal, who's waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, then email us at For the Record, one word, For the Record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. So, talking about a party, big party on Saturday night, celebrating the birthdays of Mr. Niels Godfrey and his brother, Mr. Nicholson Godfrey, or some of you may know him as Nicky as well. One 84 years of age, the other one 86 years of age, and I won't tell you which one is which. You can figure that out yourselves. They're almost two brothers that are almost inseparable. When you see one, you normally see the other as well, and they will tell you that. Lots of entertainment. Cayman folk singers, Mr. Brian Barnes, and I forgot the name of the band, might have been High, playing as well. Lots of food, lots of friends there celebrating with Mr. Niels and Mr. Nicholson Godfrey as well. And we here at Radio Cayman want to wish both of them Godspeed and many, many more happy birthdays as well. Just to let you know what the schedule will be like this morning, we have some political ads. One will run at 7:45. That will be from the Honorable W. McKeever Bush. We will have Mr. Mario Ebanks on from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and we will have former Member of Parliament, former Minister, Mr. Wayne Panton, on from 9 until 10 o'clock as well. So we're getting to that point now where we're, 20-something days away from the elections, so things are going to be pretty busy here on Radio Cayman. Meanwhile, I'd like to keep the election conversation going and take you back a little back in history. 21st of October 1965, there was an editorial in the Trade Winds newspaper. And if some of this almost resonates like what we're hearing today, don't be surprised at all. So the editorial says that we have finally succeeded in this 11th hour in awakening a certain degree of political awareness. We take pleasure now in publishing the full text of what has been supplied to us as the manifesto of the Christian Democratic Party of the Cayman Islands. And you've heard some candidates talk about their manifestos will be out soon. Some may already have theirs out for the upcoming April 14th general election. So the editorial goes on. Manifesto of the Christian Democratic Party of the Cayman Islands. They're political. One, political. The party shall do everything possible to preserve and maintain the Christian principles and best traditions handed down by our forefathers and vigorously oppose all trends towards communism and lawlessness. That's in 1965, folks. B, that was A. B, the Christian Democratic Party is definitely opposed to internal self-government at this time, as this would of necessity involve extra taxation to finance setting up a ministerial form of government, and as there are insufficiently trained personnel to successfully administer the government, this could eventually lead to an unstable government, which would be a major catastrophe for all the people of the Cayman Islands. Number 2, education, social and health. Educational, social and health. This party pledges to uphold and pursue our present educational program and see that proposals therein are implemented that will continue to raise the general standard of education. This party pledges to press for the establishment of technical and vocational schools with special emphasis on instruction in navigation, engineering, and the building trades. This party will increase efforts to better qualify students to take advantage of scholarships offered by government for professional and technical training in colleges and universities abroad. The development of social, political, and economic life of these islands shall always be of paramount importance to this party. This party is vigorously opposed to any form of legalized gambling and especially the establishment of casinos in any of the Cayman Islands. This party will support and encourage all practical measures that are being put forward for the control and eventually eradication of the mosquito pest. This will of necessity be a long, costly undertaking. Yeah, tell us about it. We still have them today. And I have a message also for MRCU. We're starting to feel them already, and we haven't gotten any rains yet. So you want to get on your P's and Q's and start spraying from now. Start from now. Don't wait until we start to complain when they come down, really rain down on us. So we're feeling them now. MRCU, get to work. Okay, going on to the Trade Winds newspaper. It's the party's aim and desire to extend free both dental and medical care to all children up to the age of 16 years and to initiate a program whereby over the age of 65 will be, I guess they mean persons over the age of 65, will be entitled to free hospital and medical care. Industry and commerce. This party will promote and encourage new industries wherever feasible, with special emphasis on the tourism industry. Protection and concentration against exploitation shall be given to local businesses and trades already established. It is the policy of this party to endeavor to increase the revenues of these islands without increasing taxation. This party will seek to accelerate the asphalting of most of the existing roads, the construction of new roads throughout the islands, the improvement of the airport in the lesser islands, now the sister islands, better docking and harbor facilities, and the provision of new cemeteries wherever they are needed. Agriculture and fishing. It is the policy of this party to encourage all aspects of agriculture, comprising cattle rearing, poultry rearing, etc., and to encourage the local fishing industry as well as the turtle and shark industry. Caymanians will also be encouraged to go into the shrimp business. It is the party's desire to decrease the importation of agricultural products from abroad and to serve our pounds and dollars at home for further expansion of native industry. This party will do any and everything in the best interest of the people of the Cayman Islands, wishing within the limits of available finances. This party intends to keep the Cayman Islands solvent without any necessity for grants in aid. This party seeks to foster the spirit of unity and peace amongst the inhabitants of these islands and declares its unwavering loyalty to Her Majesty the Queen and the British Commonwealth of Nations. Our challenge for further details of the parties has also provoked a statement from Ms. Annie Bawden, MLA and candidate for Bawden Town, Mr. Anton Bawden, MLA and candidate for Bawden Town, which appears in her letters to the editor's column. It appears that we have really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons, but we are not really surprised. In any event, we are glad to have been able to inform our readers and the voters of at least to this extent, and are optimistic that more information in this regard will be forthcoming in the brief time remaining before polling day. Folks, that was in October 21st of 1965. October 21st of 1965. Does that sound like March of 2021, what we're hearing on the campaign trail as well? You tell me. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break now where we have a political ad. Then we will have the 8 o'clock news. After the 8 o'clock news, we will return. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back. I won't say shortly, but we will.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the historical vignette series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Mary Genevieve Barton, 1914 to 1992.
Ms. Genevieve was a dedicated Sunday school teacher and Cub Scout captain. She was active in the Christian Endeavor Society of the Presbyterian Church. When she passed her first examination in Jamaica, she began teaching under the guidance of Mr. T.F. Hill. She left the government school system for a time and ran a private school in her home from 1930 to 1944. She received higher education in Jamaica and in New Zealand, Barbados, and Wales. Ms. Genevieve served as head teacher in the government schools in West Bay, Northside, and Savannah, and also taught in Cayman Brac and Georgetown. When she retired, she was executive officer in the Department of Education.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
We are telling you ahead of time, giving you the heads up to get ready. The Black Tie Affair with a circus twist. Step right up, the annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29, Marriott Beach Hotel Ballroom. Step right up. Support the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving life. The ambience of a circus affair. Tickets are limited, tickets are precious. Get your tickets from Rotary Central members. Go online to Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation Facebook pages. Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation. Rotary opens opportunity.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more with huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well-stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Caymankind.
The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman.
My dear friends, thank you for tuning in to my message again this Monday morning. Trust you and your family are well. You've had a good weekend and all is well with you. The election campaign rages on. My opponent has raised some points I must respond to. He complained that I didn't show up to debate him. No, I did not. He has done nothing for my West Bay West, so he's not worth my time to sit and debate him. For him to run around a place like Birch Tree Hill now, or Ebanks Road now, while he has never associated with them, he's not worth my time. His solutions are cut and paste that he thinks will work. He has been a person that has objected to everything that has been done in West Bay, even to on Friday night, he proposed to have a meeting in the park that he criticized and that he said should not have been built for the children of Ebanks Road. But that's the kind of hypocrisy we are dealing with in this election. The next point is this accusation. Being honest, decent, yes. Being honest is the right way. It's the correct way. We've all been raised and taught that way. Being decent must be in all things, not just some things. So yes, I've had my share of accusations and even went to court to clear my name, and I cleared it. But I must say to you, I didn't steal anything from government, nor from anyone. I didn't take any very confidential papers and give them to the opposition or my boss. Now, if that's straight and humble and honest and decent in government or in the private sector, you show me how. If I'm to be shunned, well, tell me, what of his antics? Certainly, it was a huge corporate crime to do such as stealing confidential papers from the office you're duty-bound to do right. In the private sector, it's called a crime. my opponent, Mr. Mario Ebanks, made some remarks about the changes we made to the West Bay Road. Ladies and gentlemen, long before I arrived on the scene, condos, homes were being built to the West Bay Road. Accesses were closed at times. Those are things that I fought. But I could not fight against people who had purchased land from Caymanians and were utilizing their property. However, we do know that in our road and in our development and our road needs, traffic needs, we had to do something. So we signed an agreement with the Dart people to get that road into West Bay. In that agreement, we did not agree that the vacant lot where the Hotel Indigo is going to be built, it was not part of that agreement. That space was to be left as public open space, and I had planned to put a small center for community purposes and a place to hold business meetings and, of course, for more green space in that area. When the government was changed in 2013, the agreement was reworked, and that property was part of the new agreement as it stands now. I'm certainly not against the hotel. Everyone knows where I stand on good, sustainable development. And for the future, we are going to need good hotels because we've got to change and be prepared for an upscale and upgrowing our tourism product. However, in regards to the road changes, it certainly was the best thing to do for West Bay. Back then, we had some problems, had the same problems as the Eastern District. And when we had an accident or the street had been washed away by heavy seas, we were blocked in West Bay at one point for a whole more than a half a day. That was 15, 20 years ago. And so if we hadn't done it when I did in between 2009 and 2012, then buildings would have gone up and made it more difficult to do what we have today. So now West Bay has 2 to 3 good road accesses into West Bay and no traffic woes. No traffic woes. And Mario wants to tell me that was a bad thing. You can't see the sea. People were building long before we did that road change because Caymanians had sold their beach land. The one mistake that I made was I didn't get Mr. Dart to push through the east-west corridor. As so many years now has gone by, new buildings have been sprung up all over the place, and therefore it's quite difficult to get the east-west corridor as it is so badly needed. But let me carry on with this cliches of traffic problems. Yes, as far as I'm concerned, there are too many cars on the road at the same time. So we could bus private schools, children, and public schools together. I don't know if that will work, but that's a thought process. And staggered work hours, yes. But my thought, while there are some things to be done to improve traffic flow, there is still too many vehicles. We don't like to hear that, as everyone wants to jump in their car and go or stop as the need may be. We are all independent-minded. However, I've always believed that everyone who comes here cannot own a vehicle. So that must be addressed. I believe, like Singapore developed, we can too. And the rails in a small island like ours, while expensive, can work and should be one of the new ways forward to help address traffic flows and needs of transportation. We just cannot keep building roads and think we'll fix the problem. I don't believe that. So, some new main roads are necessary, and of course we have to keep maintaining and building some side roads to residences. That would always be done as we develop. But if we are to be a first world country, building roads will not be the panacea to traffic woes. There has to be new ways, new thinking, and so some of these things that I have said will have to take place. It is government's responsibility to find solutions to alleviate the traffic congestion and improve the quality of life of our people. And indeed, all those who live here, government has been working to resolve this issue for some years now. And so, real solutions, long-term solutions, will have to be put in place. Whether it's reduction in imported vehicles, or new roads, or staggered work hours, these are some solutions, but will not fit the needs if we are to continue to develop to benefit our people in all ways. Cayman is small, but there are solutions. However, there must be a will, the political will, and of course, a buy-in from our citizens to make the changes that can work for us. So I trust whomever is elected, we can work together to address traffic woes for a modern and first world Cayman. I do want to speak to a matter that I've been dealing with for many years now. Autism. Autism has been a concern of mine, and I've supported moves to help address the disorder. Autism is a disorder of neural development characterized by impaired social interaction and verbal and non-verbal communications, and by restrictive, repetitive, or stereotype behavior. The diagnostic criteria require that symptoms become apparent before a child is 3 years old. Autism affects information processing in the brain by altering how nerve cells and their synapses connect and organize. It is a growing concern in the Cayman Islands, and I have it in my family. My grandson has some difficulty of the disorder. So our government must establish, this is what I want, this is what I've been pushing for, a dedicated treatment center in Cayman, a center of excellence through maybe a private sector and government-led partnership that can pull together all the stakeholders on the island, undertake a major education program for doctors and all clinical teams on the island to enable them to make an early intervention and refer the child or children for immediate therapy and intervention, and link the Treatment Center, when established with the Autism Genetic Resource Exchange, AGREE. This is a repository gene bank of genetic and clinical information that is available for researchers worldwide. We will also take advantage of the expertise of the World Health Organization, who can supply advice and guidance in the establishment of the Center of Autism Excellence in the Cayman Islands. We'll ensure that all children and others, not just children but teenagers and older up who may have reached an older age and are affected with autism in our islands, will have access to treatment and special facilities. This is one of my key projects over the next 4 years, God willing. There are this call that I have not done anything, that I'm too old and that I should stop now and that there are people that don't want me. Well, there are thousands of people that support what I have done. But for Mario Ebanks to say I haven't done anything, ask him, what has he done? Yes, he's been on some boards at one time on the Labour Board, and ask him how many Caymanians got good treatment from him. How many calls did he return? Over the years, those persons running with me, we have accomplished tremendous amount for West Bay. We have built parks. We have founded the Golden Age Home in West Bay. We built a new primary school, a new hall and hurricane shelter there. We have a new clinic. We have a new library. All the things that a district needs. Just this last term, I put in 2 parks for children, one in Bosun Bay and one on Ebanks Road. There's a seaside park in Badamanu. There's a Scholars Park. There's a public beach. The revitalization of the West Bay, Northwest Point and Bosun Bay cemeteries, and now a new cemetery. There's a cricket facility. We now have a walking track around the Sir John Thomas Primary School field. Then there's the Aid Bush Sports Field. My friends, the homes that we built, the elderly that we have taken care of. I know and I feel and I count myself as a social reformer, and I will continue to be that. My emphasis in the next 4 years, while we will have to develop and push for a new economic order, we have to push for a new social development order. I'm a social reformer, and the things that I have done, Mario will never dream to do. And when I gave the old people and the seamen and others funds, and when I gave children through the nation building to get not just treatment for autism disorder, but to get higher education, he said, and others said, I was giving away government money. They even called it corruption. Now he's saying, I didn't give anything to Caymanians or West Bayers. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice. I don't think it's him. I've served and I will continue to serve you to the best of my ability. You will always be in the forefront of my thoughts of what I need to do for my community. And I trust that you will not allow him to pander with your thoughts and pander with your children's thoughts, because he thinks that cutting and pasting out of Facebook or out of the internet, that does the trick. No, the taste of the pudding is what you put in it. I have worked for you. I will continue to work for you.
The proceeding was a paid political broadcast. Radio Cayman time check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
This Easter, the biggest specials can only be found at your local Foster's. And in our